He knows some local coastal authority administrators, so arrangements for legal possession and embarkment procedures will be easier in that region. The owner asked 150,000 euros. We told him no more than 105,000, if also engaged to install a new same type motor. He agreed after many hours of negotiation. No need for significant additional expenses, only some accessories and comfort equipment. I consider the price unexpected for that kind of boat, and I hope that with some more effort we can afford it. Perhaps we can make an additional effort for collecting some more money in Greece. First general data. Length 21 meters, 67 feet long, width 6 meters, 21 feet wide. Motor 365 HP, 1700 RPM, type, Pentavolvo, Veloc 9 to 10 knots, fuel tank 4 cubic meter. Strong high mast assuring efficient sailing, 8 cabins, 4 WC. Possible embarkment of 25 persons +/-1 month, maybe 45 days from the starting day of the final stage, including adaptation works and legal procedures. Embarkation is possible. Second boat carrying people not needed, just a small accompanying one, less than 6 meter length, very low price, only for carrying reserves, and safety reasons. Preparing the Aegeus Nikolaos, soon to become the SS Liberty, Petros Giatis, notes of a Greek journalist. It was early in the spring of 2008, when Vangelis Pisius asked to meet with me. He told me about a project in which a group, consisting mainly of internationals, had been working on for over a year. The project was based on a simple idea: break the siege of Gaza by sea, since no one could access it by land, because of the blockade by Israeli and Egyptian authorities. Actually breaking the siege by sea would be a much more complex project. The Free Gaza movement asked us Greeks to provide mission support, prepare a boat that could reach Gaza, but prevent the Zionist spies from learning of the project and trying to sabotage our efforts. Until that time, prior attempts to purchase Free Gaza movement boats had failed. The Zionists had been able to get access to the boats on sale and managed to cancel their purchase. On the other hand, even if a boat could be purchased for FG, it always was at risk of being found and sunk by Zionists. This means that an absolutely legal action, it is not illegal under international law to sail to Gaza, had to be accomplished in secret, as if it were illegal. So, understandably, for everyone's safety, and for the success of the mission, we needed to conduct all our operations in the strictest secrecy every step of the way until, and including mooring the two boats clandestinely in separate harbors around Athens. The whereabouts of one boat and crew would not be known to the crew of the other boat. Each one of us involved in this project would function on a need-to-know basis, keeping the overall details as quiet as possible. I didn't have to give it a lot of thought. I would join the mission at once. The Palestinian cause is a part of our collective conscience as Greeks. We grew up with it. We have always considered the Palestinian revolution our own cause. We met Palestinian friends and comrades at university. We had helped them before with both open and clandestine activities. Thus, we couldn't say no. When it comes to helping the Palestinian people, who for the last 60 years have suffered under Israeli aggression and ethnic cleansing, I'm completely on board. The Palestinians hold bravely the banner of the fight for freedom, and they are a beacon for all progressive peoples. Vangelis took up coordinating this indispensable component of the Free Gaza mission's operations in Greece. Our friends from the FG abroad had already done an excellent job developing the political and financial support for this attempt. There was already an international group that represented 17 countries that had requested to be on board. Signatures had been collected in a petition gathering support for the attempt. There were already significant funds, but it was not sufficient. That would be the last of our concerns. We have learned that we must focus on what is most essential to get the job done. If we are to get anywhere with this mission, we must leave secondary matters like adequate financing aside. We must have faith that adequate funding will be dealt with when the time comes. The main aspect was the preparation of a boat that could take our multinational group to Gaza. As I have already mentioned, our mission had the unique challenge of having to be carried out in secret. If we went forth to the streets and announced that we wanted to buy a boat to break the blockade of Gaza, we would have found many supporters. The Greek people, no matter what their political affiliation, feel very close to the Palestinians. But this open public approach would probably have ended up with a sunken boat. We had to act cautiously, involving a small number of people who wouldn't ask too many questions. Soon enough, Vangelis found the Dimitris K, an old, but still good simple vessel that, with sufficient repairs, could be rendered seaworthy to carry some 25 people. This vessel would become the Free Gaza. Then, a network of support was built that would ensure utter secrecy. People like Vangelis and I needed to keep a low profile, since the boat was already under repair in an area where Vangelis carried out research and many people knew him. Nosy neighbors hanging around the marina would only learn that the professor is building a boat to go on August holidays with his friends. That is not strange at all in a land like Greece with thousands of small or large private boats. Our network of people worked clandestinely, using methods devised during the fascist dictatorship in Greece, 1967 to 1974. There was expertise as well as a positive social milieu. People have learned not to ask too many questions once they realize you are not willing to answer. And those directly involved in a clandestine project are well aware that they should not be too curious. They should know only what they need to know in order to accomplish their individual projects within the greater mission. Knowing much beyond the duties of their specific tasks could jeopardize the entire mission. Protecting the mission is of paramount importance. Thus, what is required is maximum secrecy and decentralization, that is, use of a network, most of whose member links are unaware of the other member specific activities or whereabouts. When the repairs on Dimitris K had progressed enough, our friends abroad informed us that there were already a high number of participants and that we needed another boat. Time was running extremely short, however. It is not easy to acquire a boat in late spring, nor is it easy to find the people to transform it into a seaworthy vessel. Everyone is too busy on the verge of the new tourist season. Also, seeking a boat in the same port area near Athens where Dimitris K was would arouse suspicions instantly. We had to a separate and unrelated place where Vangelis was also well known to the local people because of his university and research activity. A few days later we found a brilliant Trihantari, a traditional wooden fishing boat built by Euboean shipbuilders. The vessel was afloat, but had been abandoned for 4 years. The first inspection revealed rotten parts in the wooden framework. The boat needed to be moved to dry dock for repairs. Theodoris was still one among few traditional craftsmen for wooden boats in Greece. He knew the Aegeus Nikolaos very well. Unknown to him, this boat would become the SS Liberty of Free Gaza movement fame. He took great pride in it as he pulled it ashore. "It'll be ready next year, Vangeli," he said. Fair enough for such a busy boat builder looking forward to some rest in the upcoming heat of August. But not fair enough for the Free Gaza mission. Next year sounds too late. "I need it ready in a month's time," Vangelis said, while smiling at Theodoris, his boat-building friend. There was no answer on the spot, but we were quite certain Theodoris and his coworkers would curse the professor and his unreasonable demands. After the boat accomplished its mission, Theodoris would later describe what exactly happened. "I was lying on the sofa watching TV. There was a news report about boats that had broken the blockade of Gaza. Suddenly, Aegeus Nikolaos was on the screen. I blinked. I couldn't believe my own eyes. I said to my wife, 'That's our boat, ain't it? Our own bloody boat.' Had Vangelis told me beforehand, I would have worked more intensely to get it ready earlier. Since it's for the Palestinians, we could have worked all through the night as well." Many of those people repairing the boat really did work very hard even late into the night. There were of course some who were used to working rather slowly, taking long breaks for a pint of beer and chit-chat at the cafe. There were moments during this time of secrecy and effort when Vangelis was on the brink of cardiac arrest. How could you explain to the boatyard repairman that they had to rush, knowing only that the professor wanted the boat for a cruise with a bunch of friends from abroad? Could they have worked overtime at night then? But they did work overtime, as if they vaguely suspected that Vangelis wanted the boat for something more important, although he wouldn't tell them exactly what for. An email from Bella, Sharon Locke, somewhere out in the eastern Mediterranean. Subject, #3, in which I don't tell you very much. Tuesday, the 22nd of July 2008. Dear all. Well, I'm in this strange situation that I can't tell you where I am or what I'm doing right now. However, I can tell you I'm worn out, got the usual cough I get when I've failed to get enough eating or sleeping done, and I'm very happy. Things are going well, and best of all I'm working with good courageous people who I never knew before a few days ago and now would trust with my life. I feel like I'm in my own personal version of land and freedom, minus the being shot at that might come later. By the way, Ken Loach, who made that film, endorsed Free Gaza movement a few days ago and sent us a donation too. Why humans ever do anything other than passionately work for freedom and justice for all, I can't imagine. Even when it involves the greatest risk, as this project does, it brings the greatest joy. Love you all. Bella. Dr. Bill Dienst, en route to the region. Exiting America and broadening cultural horizons. July 26 to 29th, 2008. I'm on my way outside the sphere of influence of the corporate Pravda networks who define what the news is here in the United States of America. Boarding the plane in Spokane, Washington, I see a young man sporting a DARE t-shirt, drug abuse resistance education. Many of us need to project a message when we are traveling. No doubt I will project a message too when I'm inbound. Right now, while outbound, I wear no messages, I have to be careful. I'm joining a movement of international activists who will attempt to break the Israeli-imposed siege of Gaza. We will sail 2 small wooden boats through international waters and directly into Gaza territorial waters. We'll sail right past the Israeli Navy, which keeps the people of Gaza trapped within their enclave, and into Gaza port. It sounds crazy, I know. No boats have entered Gaza port from international waters since Israel began occupying Gaza 41 years ago as a result of the Six-Day War in 1967. This siege against the people of Gaza is supported by the USA and its EU allies, yet few in the West are even aware of this man-made humanitarian catastrophe. The goal of the Free Gaza movement is to raise world awareness of this fact. I fly on to Denver and then an all-night flight that puts me in Frankfurt, Germany, at noon the following day. From the airport, I take a train. Overloaded with luggage, I stumble out of the Hauptbahnhof, the main train station, and into the city. I've got jet lag, my body hurts all over, and I'm stressing out with fear about our mission. I need to chill. I take a tram northwest from the Hauptbahnhof to a huge public swimming pool. I love being back in Europe again. Childhood memories of living in Brussels, Belgium, for 3 years back in the early 70s, are bringing back tearful feelings of nostalgia. I'm a bit prone to emotionality right now, because this may prove to be a dangerous mission.